So you're trying to fix your credit and you're actually looking at debt settlement to try to help you with your credit. Let me show you why you shouldn't do that coming up. Hey everyone, if you've been trying to work on your credit and you have barely been seeing any results, you need to go ahead and take a look at the workshop that I just opened up that is currently free so that you can learn where you went wrong while you were trying to work on your credit. During that lesson, you'll learn the 4 don'ts when it comes to working on your credit, the mistakes people make when writing dispute letters, why you shouldn't only dispute with the credit bureaus, and also the accounts that people waste time disputing. Not to mention, you'll get to see real results from a customer who used my methods and they were able to get their credit straightened out and bought a brand new home within 7 months. So go ahead and sign up for that training today. The link is going to be down in the bio. And while you're trying to work on your credit, you have to see all 3 of your credit reports and scores. And My Score IQ, a company that I use for myself and for all of my customers, has a $1 7-day trial so you can see your credit reports and scores so you can know where you stand, because you can't work on your credit without knowing what's going on all 3 reports. So please check out My Score IQ. The link to them is going to be down in the description as well. What's up, y'all? Will Frazier here, your credit expert, bringing you the tips you need to get your credit back on track, because what goes down must come up. And if you don't want your credit score to drop 400 points, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can be notified of any videos I drop just like this. Now, you're trying to fix your credit, and you're looking at debt settlement as an option to try to fix your credit. But it's very important that you understand how debt settlement affects your credit before you try to go down that road. So if you're unfamiliar with what debt settlement is, it's basically where you hire a company. That company will set up a payment arrangement with you to pay payments to them, and you are consistently making payments to them month after month, and then they tell you that they're going to go ahead and pay off all of your debts at a discounted rate after they have received enough payments for you. Now, what can make this either a good or a bad thing for you is the makeup of your credit report and the debts that you are trying to get settled through this debt settlement company. So usually I see 2 scenarios where people are trying to go ahead and go down the debt settlement road. Now, the first is when a person has too many open credit card accounts and they don't know how they're going to pay back the debt on all those credit cards. So they go to a debt settlement company thinking that it's going to help relieve some of the pressure that they have and that it's going to help to improve their credit or get them in a better financial state. Now, the problem with that is usually the debt settlement companies will tell you that you need to stop making payments on those open accounts. But what they don't usually tell you is that those companies that you aren't paying anymore are going to add late payments to your credit report. I'm talking 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120-day late payments to your credit report, and that will absolutely tear up your credit. Not only will it severely lower your credit score, probably hundreds of points, it will also be very hard to repair that damage or fix that damage, and it will take some time to recover from that. So why do these debt settlement companies tell you that you need to actually stop paying on these accounts as soon as you enter into the debt settlement program? It's because once an account charges off, it's actually easier to try to settle the debt with them. Usually the company isn't going to do it while the account is still open and while you're still able to make payments to the company directly on the open account. So they tell you to stop paying so that they can charge off and they can settle the debt, but in the meanwhile you're adding very severe and long-lasting damage to your credit report and your credit score. So of course that tells you right there that that's not going to help your credit at all, and more than likely you could have just put payments to the side yourself or started making extra payments on those open credit cards to try to knock them down faster versus giving the money to a debt settlement company. Now, before I talk about what happens when you actually have a lot of collections and charge-offs, which is the other scenario where people are using a debt settlement company, let me tell you how it usually works with the fees with these debt settlement companies. Now, I had a person come to me before and they told me that they were about to cancel the debt settlement company, but all of the money that they have been paying have been going towards the debt settlement company's fees. So basically, if they say their fee is $500, but you need to give them $2,000 in order for them to pay off all your debts, basically you're going to be paying them about $2,500, but all of the money that you give to them in the beginning is going towards their fee. So basically you could be putting a whole bunch of money into the pot with them, but then you may not even be anywhere close to getting your stuff paid off because you haven't paid them their fees yet, and some companies may not refund you the money towards their fee if you cancel early. Now, I do know there are some debt settlement companies with a different pay structure, but that is the most common one that I've seen. Now, if you've dealt with a debt settlement company and you've heard of what I'm talking about, or you've seen something different, please make sure you talk about your experience down in the comments. But now, If you're a person that has collections and charge-offs and you're hiring a debt settlement company to try to deal with those collections and charge-offs for you, what you need to be aware of is when you pay off collections and charge-offs, usually one of two things will happen. Either your score will drop, which is a more common thing, or absolutely nothing will happen after you've given up all that money to pay off all those accounts. Now that happens if you use your own money to go ahead and do that and pay off those companies. Now if you hire a debt settlement company, the only thing you're doing is giving them money and paying them their fee in order for them to go ahead and try to settle the debts for less and try to pay those off for you. Now I just told you that if you pay them off, it's gonna not help your credit score. It'll drop it or keep it the same where it's at. So if they pay it off, it's gonna do the exact same thing to your credit score. It's not gonna help you or benefit you at all. Now of course they may offer you the benefit of settling the debts for less, but a lot of times charge-offs, the collection companies that are collecting for those charge-offs, they will usually settle with you at that point. And like I mentioned to you, they try to get you to stop paying on your accounts so that they can charge off, so that they can try to make a good deal on the debt. And you can honestly do the same thing without paying a fee to anybody. So basically, if you have open credit cards that you're trying to get a hold of, use the money that you have already to try to pay on those cards and get them down, pay extra money so that you can get them down faster instead of paying somebody else the money and paying them a fee just to have you tear up your credit by not paying them and then trying to settle out the accounts when they're in a charge-off status, when that's something that you could actually do yourself. And also, if you're in a situation with collections and charge-offs, then you are already in a position to try to settle those debts at a lesser amount by reaching out to those creditors and making an offer. But the real thing with that is paying them won't really help your score anyway. So there are other methods that you can use, like disputing, to try to deal with those accounts before you try to even do something like that. So I hope this information was helpful and will help put you on the right track. Take what I said, evaluate it, do research on it, and see if debt settlement is truly the best option for you. I thank you guys for sticking with me to the end of the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.